proposed expenses is $8,247,128. That's a 14.2% increase. Some highlights and changes. In 2025, we've had 5 staff members upgrade or receive new wastewater certificates. I'd like to break off right here for a second and talk about that. The Department of Ecology recognizes 4 levels of competence as far as wastewater treatment plant operators go, 1 being the lowest and 4 being the highest. For your information, you currently have 2 wastewater 4s working, 2 wastewater 3s, a wastewater 2, and 3 wastewater 1s working under your staff currently. All of my wastewater staff are certified in confined space entry, attendant, and rescue operations. To date, the wastewater division for 2025 has cleaned over 221 miles of gravity sewer line. We received the 2024 Outstanding Performance Award for Larson Treatment Facility.
Can you remind me on the utility taxes, the 88.5% increase, that due to the rate?
We had, it's not necessarily rate, we had some lower budgeted numbers, and we've taken a look at what we're actually collecting. We've been under budgeting for some time on the utility tax. Keep in mind that this is truly a pass-through though. We collect the tax in this fund and then it goes to the general fund.
Okay.
So.
Councilmember Myers?
The one thing that I was looking at here on your ending fund balance, the numbers just don't line up. How to get an additional 2 million in ending fund balance when everything seems to be pretty level.
I probably have a formula incorrect in there. I will take a look at that.
So one of the reasons, so this budget has a 14.2% increase. A big reason for that is the capital outlay, the contribution to capital goes up about $300,000. So from 1.7 to 2 million. And that right there is a 20% increase in contribution to capital.
Madeline, so I noticed what the mayor was looking at too. So in 24, you had 600,000, and obviously the budget was at $500,000. So there's nothing really filled in for year to date 2025. What are you guessing on that, or is there, you don't know the number till the end of the year?
We typically don't do that until the end of the year. I am going to be changing that. I'd like to do that transfer on a monthly basis because we collect it. We should be just transferring it over to the general fund every single month, but the system doesn't allow us that to happen automatically. Sure. So it's a manual transfer. And so, yes, it just hasn't been done as of the.
So I'm assuming you used whatever number you do have that you didn't put here to do the proposed budget, then did you pretty much? Okay. Yeah. And then I think the city manager addressed the capital contributions being they're up 31%.
And the other thing, the internal service allocations, we have increased the amount of the admin overhead costs that we're collecting from the utilities as well. So that increased the internal service allocation.
Oh.
So
Thank you.
Guess we can go ahead and move on. Looks like we're at the municipal airport. Lee?
You know, I'm not quite sure how Brian got out of having to do this one.
Don't worry, it'll fly by.
Rock, paper, scissors, and I lost again. Okay, so I mean, Mosaic Lake Municipal Airport is a general aviation airport that serves general aviation aircraft and commercial crop spraying operations. It was deeded to the city in 1947 by the Northern Pacific Railroad. It is a self-sustaining enterprise fund, meaning that expenses must be covered by revenues generated through the leases and the tie-down fees. So this year they have some accomplishments with they have done a crack sealing project on their taxiway, and that is partially completed. They've not done all taxiways, but they've done part of it, and they are working on striping here hopefully in the next couple of weeks. They just finished getting a small works contract in place for that. They did create an updated 6-year statewide capital improvement plan, that SKIP that you saw earlier this year and received and filed. So we did revamp how we did that this year and are looking again further into the future. They reduced their tie down irrigation area to conserve water and reduce water bills. So they went out and worked with parks to determine which areas they no longer wanted to keep green, and they've shut off those zones. And they have installed new taxiway reflectors. So for 2026, they're looking at proposed revenue of $67,525 and proposed expenses of $59,437, which is a decrease of 17.1%. So the reason that is such a large decrease is their revenues, because they're an enterprise and trying to stay within what they're bringing. Their revenues decreased because one of their lessees chose to not renew and actually termed their lease for renting the buildings that we own out there. And that was a significant chunk of revenue for them. It was about $15,000. So they did reduce their expenses to ensure that they were going to stay in the black. And in 2025, they do a plan to have staff work with them to apply for some Washington State Department of Transportation grant money for pavement maintenance of the runway. We did confirm that the aviation grant would allow for that, and project completion would depend on grant award because they do not have the fund reserves to pay for it otherwise. So the hope is that we'll be successful in getting that grant. And then they are proposing to replace the runway lighting if budget allows. And they also, just a note from the budget perspective, Madeline and I did not include the funding of the 2 capital projects identified in the SKIP yet, because we're going to go after grant dollars. So if they are successful, you will be seeing a budget amendment come to you in 2026 to use some of their fund balance as their match.
Did Commissioner Finley receive any awards for weed control or anything like that?
No.
No? Okay, okay. Thought I'd ask.
And was there a lease rate discussion had at all as part of this?
So their leases currently state they'll go up by CPI annually. And they also, for the commercial, if you recall, back when we had Kevin here, we negotiated for the commercial leases that we were doing a graduated increase to make up the difference for CPI. So that's already built into their leases. So
Program. Thank
we
you.
will. Yep.
All right, we're almost done here.
Good evening. I'm Joey Cliffner. I'm your fleet manager. Tonight, I'm going to touch base on our accomplishments because I think it paints a better picture of what fleet actually does and who we are. So 20 months ago, I asked my staff to view every task through the eyes of the taxpayers. With that mindset, our team has found ways to work more efficiently and use taxpayer dollars more responsibly. To date, we've integrated shop management software to better track expenses, our parts inventory, and technicians' performance. We created a maintenance program using real-time data to eliminate waste and increase efficiency, launched two vehicle pool programs to improve travel options and utilization of targeted vehicles, invested in modern tools, equipment, and training to keep more repairs in-house and reduce sublet expenses. We also completely restructured the vehicle and equipment replacement plan with extended retention cycles. and reduce maintenance expenses, through targeted vendor changes resulting in a 48% reduction in bulk fluid expenses, increased fuel savings from 4 cents a gallon to almost 7 cents a gallon. Automatic car washes, we're saving $2 per wash with greater savings on the unlimited monthly plans. These operational changes will continue through 2026.
So do we have a car washing facility? Or we're using,
Yeah, we're using Sunsplash Car Wash.
great, okay.
We have a contract to them. So city vehicles can go through there.
Wasn't there a truck wash bay put in though?
Yeah, I think it's just cars, small SUVs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's trucks.
No, I mean, do we have a truck wash facility?
No,
No,
No.
it was talked about years ago,
All right.
assuming where you're coming from.
The striper, does that come under your jurisdiction?
correct, for maintenance and repairs.
Right, so what is the long-term strategy on that? I don't know who should address that.
I'll chime in. Brad will probably want to chime in too, but long-term strategy would be to utilize that machine as long as we can. It's an extremely expensive piece of equipment.
To replace.
To replace, yeah. I've been here 13 years. It was here prior to me. Currently, to date, it works extremely well. It works well because Fleet's maintained it and Brad and his team know how to use it correctly.
We went through that top to bottom this season. Every gun was rebuilt. They're German guns, they're special parts. Joey and his team went through all the air dryer systems, the compressors. We cleaned the pots. That truck, you know, it doesn't see a lot of use, but we take very good care of it. And the intention there is taking care of it. So we A, don't ever have to replace it, or B, we don't ever have to have a contractor come in and do that work for us. That way we can do more in-house. I don't recall, Joey, do you know off the top of your head the mileage on that?
I don't know. I know it's,
I want to say, I don't hold me to this, but I want to say it has less than 20,000 miles.
yeah, I think it's crazy low.
And the way we take care of it and the way Fleet's on top of the engine maintenance, I don't foresee that having any major equipment failures in the coming future.
I mean, has anyone ever done not that I'm suggesting this, but has anyone ever done a cost analysis of subbing out the work and selling it?
I have the current prevailing wage actually just went up for stripers. It's in the $90 an hour. Most of our staff, if you do an average on our staff wage, we're in between 36 and 40 in the averages. And most of the paint's about $17 a gallon. 1 gallon of paint will get me 233 feet. So, you know, with the hundreds of miles that we maintain, I can actually do it for about $54 versus they're almost 90.
So if a citizen says or asks the question, if these numbers are all like, as you say, why didn't we use it for the contract of doing the streets?
I can't speak to that.
I'll touch on it. When Brad initially fires that truck up in the summer months, it takes about 2 weeks. Like I said, the downfall is we touch that truck for about 30 days a year. I know that doesn't sound appealing to a lot, but when you touch a pretty complicated piece of equipment for 30 days a year, and it's very technical, it takes a lot to load it, a lot to prime it, a lot to get it set up. It's got a lot of lasers on it, points you got to hit. Takes a little learning curve every year for the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cleanup of it, which, what does it take you?
Usually it's 2 guys for about 5 to 7 business days
So it's
to clean that.
It's a lot of maintenance.
Going back then to the previous question, then everything you just described almost sounds like it would make sense to sub out the work.
Potentially, yeah. The way that I'm just looking at it now is we currently have it, we own it, and the crews are pretty efficient at it. I think you last year or this year you painted 10 days.
Yeah, it's about 9 full days. There was a half a day there with the 23 miles.
Mhm.
Now to your question, Victor, I don't know that we're opposed to doing that work. We just have to worry about bid splitting and some of those things that go under our procurement and bidding. But my staff's completely capable. It's not something that I'm against by any
Right.
means. I just don't know that we've approached that yet.
Brad touched on what I was going to say, and that is there are bidding laws that prevent you from splitting out certain aspects of the project. You're supposed to bid out the entire project from start to finish, according to bidding laws. So we don't get to be efficient sometimes. The laws kind of tie one hand behind our backs and make us inefficient sometimes, more than sometimes.
We bidders appreciate that. Thank you. Did you have anything else, Joey?
No, that was it.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure to have you come this evening, and I appreciated your comment about especially having your staff look through it or look at it through the lens of the taxpayer. I think that's important. So
Thank you.
thank you. I know that our trucks are attractive pieces of equipment, and so that with the way our culture here gets some scrutiny. So making sure we're keeping those costs in line is always great, and having nice equipment is nice too. So,
Absolutely.
all right, we'll go to the last item for this evening, I think.
Yeah.
Which is facilities maintenance, and Josh McPherson is here this
Yep.
evening.
Yeah, Josh McPherson, Facilities Manager. The Facilities Maintenance Division is responsible for repairing, and maintaining our facilities, make sure they're safe, operational, and clean for employees and citizens. Our biggest accomplishments this year, we did a remodel of the IT. It was pretty substantial for a 4-man maintenance crew. Turned a 2-office space or 3-office space into a 4-office space with a workroom. We finished the solar system. It is done. It is up and running, not completely closed out, but it is functional. And the operations building number 2 roof is wrapping up tomorrow. So for next year, so we're looking at getting a facility conditions assessment. This will be an in-depth look at our facilities to kind of help create a list of where our assets sit, how our facilities sit, and how to budget moving forward with equipment replacement, facility upgrades, etc. We reduced staffing. We lowered 2 custodians. We kind of revamped how we were running our routes and what we were cleaning and how we were cleaning to reduce those 2 staff members. We trimmed the operating budget a little bit. It wasn't a whole lot. And then the capital budget is the biggest reduction, and that was mainly due to the solar system, the price of it. So, yeah.
So as part of that solar system project with the grant funding and all of that,
Yes.
I'm assuming with the equipment we have, you can pull analytics from it or data.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
right?
it's real-time monitoring 24/7.
So will we get reports on that as far as what our power production is from that? equipment?
I could pull reports on it, yeah. It doesn't provide them, but I can log in to look at it anytime.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of the proof of whether it's a success.
If it's
or
working or not, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to kind of touch on the decrease, the significant decrease, it's due a couple of things. The capital outlay number 1, because in 25 we had the solar system outlay for that project. So you can see that decreased by 54%. That's because of the solar array project, as well as the internal service allocations. So just redoing those internal service allocations and really kind of honing in on, the true, and then spreading out the internal service allocations. So facility maintenance pays for technical services. So the IT as well as for the fleet. They pay for those allocations as well. So those two were the biggest drivers of the decrease.
And forgive me if for this question, you probably addressed it, but the proposed budget, 12,000 versus 750,000.
That's the intergovernmental, that's the grant
That's the
for
grant
the, for the solar project.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes, sir.
Josh and his team, I want to thank them because there was, you can see on the slide here, it says reduce staffing levels through attrition. So there were 2 custodian positions that became vacant recently, and we asked Josh and his team what they could do to kind of change the way they're doing things, maybe reduce level of service internally a little bit, to not fill those positions. And they got creative and they came up with a way to still do the custodial services and not fill those 2 positions. That means that those of us in the office, we don't get our, our garbage emptied as often as we did, but that's fine. We can live with those things. But just want to thank Josh and his team for being flexible and creative like that to making those adjustments.
Great. Ready to go home? Okay, it looks like the next item up on the list here is the adjournment, so. We can all go home. Meeting is adjourned at 9:19.